When I first got my first patrol car, I got Chinatown. It's like Chinatown, yes. Culture, people in the park stretching, slippery shrimp on Broadway, but I never got to spend any time there because no sooner than I park my car, I get a call to go to Skid Row. Doot doot. 1A1, go to 7th and San Julian for the attack in progress. Doot doot. 1A1, respond to 5th and San Julian. There was a man sitting on the sidewalk, holding his chest. He had been stabbed. We get there. I said, sir, who did this to you? And there was a bald-headed gang member calmly walking down the street. You would think he would run. He didn't run. I called the ambulance for a guy. We go to arrest him. I said, sir, you're under arrest. He looked at me and says, why are you being so gung-ho? You know I'm gonna be out in 2 days. They don't care about this. I was livid. I went to the station and wrote, in my mind, the world's greatest police report. Why? Because I came from a unified school district. And I turned in a report, and the watch commander looked at the report and said, Deon, this is one of the best reports I've ever seen. This guy's going to jail. I came back from 2 days off, and guess who I saw walking down the street? The DA rejected the case. I go to the detectives and I say, why was this case rejected? Deon, this is a great report. But the DA rejected the case because the person is on drugs and he's homeless. Because even at the DA's office back then, the mentality was, it's just Skid Row. So all the bad guys we arrest, we get right back out. What happens when I became a senior lead officer, I tried the same thing and it didn't work. I arrested so many people and nothing was changing. Why?
Would they come back out?
They would come back out because I wasn't working in a system that supported me. So when I became a senior lead officer and I parked my car on a block out of frustration, man, there was drug dealers and gang members everywhere. And I stayed on that block and I was praying and I was talking to God. I was like, what can I do here? And the answer was right there. As I stayed, all the criminals started to leave. And what I loved about the third hour, we had people coming from their residence. One guy with his little puppy dog, and he says, brother, don't you ever leave this block. Don't you ever leave. Thank you for what you're doing. At that moment, it reminded me of the need to be a champion for people. Why? Because when I was a kid, I had been victimized and nobody stood up for me. But I'm going to try and be a warrior and a champion for the people of Skid Row. And I did that for 27 years and I never, ever left.